The events of the film start at a cafe called Simona RMZ. And there, dozens of customers are doing what is supposed to be done in the cafe, sitting with their faces buried in the mobiles, and suddenly a man wearing the latest fashion of the homeless street people enters the place, also holding a device in his hands. A button like a detonator device, a bomb wrapped around his body. The man says he came from the future to save humanity from artificial intelligence. Jabbar, hissed Abdul al-Kawkab, the time traveler. He throws the phones of people who listen to him, while explaining to them that he needs to gather a group of people ready to challenge digital tyranny. The story is that the citizens who were spoiled by social media in the future became lazy so much that they no longer get out of bed, and they stayed tied to the virtual world. But those who listen to them are waiting for them. They enter. There are still flaws. The time traveler says that he has gone through this scenario more than 100 times. And each time he chose different participants. Some died in the first minutes of the journey, some betrayed, and some endured until the end, but in the end, the mission failed. What he needs to succeed is to choose the right combination of people. No customer volunteered, and when she started listening, the police sirens are outside. The man prepared himself mentally. If this is the zero of the timeline, and it starts again, but suddenly it rises. Her hands are lonely, her name is Susan, and after her, that stranger started choosing people by himself. Scott, Mark, and Jane, and then volunteered as a leader. The scouts bobbed, and the last one wanted to join the group. She was a girl wearing a princess dress named Ingrid, but the time traveler refused to take her, apparently. The crazy person's eyes didn't like her, but when a bottle of ketchup fell and its contents poured on the princess, she surrendered to the will of the random number generator and took her along. And the story takes place over several days. In the past, Mark is appointed as a temporary teacher at the school where Janat works. He tries to talk to the students, secondary, about books, but they are lost in their phones and completely ignoring the teacher. And at lunchtime, he complains to his classmates. One of them invented a special device that looks like a cardboard gun. It interferes with mobile signals for a while, and suddenly, the alarm goes off, and it happens at school. Another burst of gunfire hit the students. The teachers and students took cover in the shelter until the danger passed, and when they returned to the classrooms, Mark Belf was there. The classroom, and he is seeing the students lost in the screens. The devices without thinking about the colors that are. I glance at the screen, and his drowsiness hit us abruptly. And the teacher reached for the mobile without realizing it, as soon as he touched it. The picture changed to a shape of a pyramid on all the phones in the classroom. And all the students turned their heads and looked at Mark at the same time. The teacher was afraid of their behavior, and during the break, he went to the teacher's room. And it's noticeable that the students are laughing at him. Then they started chasing him. Mark tells me, Janet, that something strange is happening with the kids. They sabotaged their devices. And then when the students started chasing them like a herd of zombies, the teachers took out the guns they had made by themselves, and the one who hits them stops them with a signal from the mobile. But the social media zombies are increasing in number, and now the teachers are the ones. They had to taste the school, not the students. And we have the time traveler symbol. It explains that they must leave the restaurant now. All choices are there. Its consequences. If they go through the front of the police, they will be shot. And if they go through the back door, they will release the dogs on them. And at the emergency exit, they will be beaten by disobedience to the point of death. And to buy time, someone has to distract the police. The choice fell on Bob, who only has a pistol. They are useless for anything. As soon as he came out of the door, he was immediately shot, and at that moment, Susan says that there is in the warehouse going down. Secret for the sewers, the strange man took all the phones from the group and took them to the director while he was surprised. How did Susan know about this hideout? And during more than 100 attempts, she never said anything. Then the story turns into a flashback to Susan. She lost her son in a shooting incident at the school, but The parents of the other students who died gave it a card to an organization that helps in these cases. And the next day, the woman went to the written address. And there she found out that it was a secret cloning company under the name Kenny McCormick, and it can make a copy, a spitting image of her son. The technology is expensive, but the government covers part of the costs when victims die from gunfire in government institutions, and you can also get a discount if you agree to merge ads inside the copied shocked one. I made a psychological file for her son, so that they imitate his personality, habits, weaknesses, hobbies, and everything, and after a while, they handed her the new son. An exact copy. It is originally from her natural son, but with a barcode and integrated ads for some cold and programmed thing. He thanks the soldiers for their service to the homeland. And also the boy was daydreaming on the phone all the time, and after failed attempts to talk to him, Susan understood that this is not her son, it's just a cheap substitute. The woman went to a support group meeting for copy users. There, she talked with other parents. They went through the same experience, some gave up, and they changed the copies several times, and kept trying to change the specifications. And when the meeting ended, a man offered her a device from another company. This company focuses on creating personalities, not bodies, and gave her a hard drive. It is possible to record the child's awareness on it, and she communicates with it through sound, and at night Susan talked to her virtual son that he is closer. She has the cloned zombie from before, and suddenly, the boy said that his mother must go to us as a sign and join the man coming from the future. And we go back to the man, the time traveler, who left the restaurant and explained that they had to walk through the alleys to a house. There is a genius in it. He has 9 years. At this moment he is making artificial intelligence. Their mission is to integrate protocols, protection from a flash drive. This number will make the idol another human, not just another copy from Skynet. But the situation is not easy. They are being hunted by the police, thugs, and mercenaries, and the madmen by chance. And when the time traveler went to explore the place, silence, he suggested that they attack him and strip him of his weapon. Ingrid sniffed. She started bleeding until she found a mobile phone with Scott and broke it. The princess admitted that she is allergic to technology and to Wi-Fi signals. And then, when the strange man came back, he said, "Silence." He has a coin in his pocket to prove that he is coming from the future, and he makes her back down from the attack, then take them to the rooftops, and explain to them that we created this artificial intelligence capable of inevitable things they won't be able to cancel. Their mission is to. He leaves it safe for humans, and at that moment, Jerry attacked them crazily with a club, but the time traveler played his trick. Intelligent, then the group is walking in an abandoned building. Suddenly, 2 masked mercenaries with a robot started chasing them. Suddenly, Jilly appeared and attacked. On one of them, he fell from above the wall to the ground, the second after he fired a shot at Mary, who had separated from him, as if being chased. The group, the time traveler, orders them to curl up in a trash can, but they can't get out because its walls are high. The mercenary is preparing to shoot them, and suddenly, a car moving without brakes ran me over. After it hit the fence, I fell down and was about to die. The ones who survived. Enjoy your meal. And here the story moves to the past. Ingrid. When she was a child, she was diagnosed with a strange illness, which is an allergy to modern technology. And, at that time, she didn't use mobile phones or digital devices. But she was working as a measurer. She wears princess clothes at birthday parties. The little girls, Ingrid, met Tam, a young man who does not use mobile phones for ideological reasons. They stayed together for 6 months. And they think about getting married and having children. The girl was all right early in the morning so they could watch the sunrise together. But one day he took a virtual reality headset. The young man tried it. And if it happened at work, a moment when kids, much more, sitting at the party table, their faces are buried in the mobile phones, not in the cake. And when she returned home, she saw that Tom had spent The whole day in virtual reality, and at night, he took a break just to have a bite while he was talking to the girl about the beauty behind the screen. And one morning, Ingrid was upset. A party whose noses were bleeding from so many phones. Those with the kids at the table. And after she lost her work, she went back home and found dinner prepared. Romantic. And this was a surprise for her. But the joy didn't last. The young man decided to move to the virtual reality. And left her, trying to soften the matter. With this evening, when he leaves, he will burn the freshness. And where did she go with him and Ramez? And now the group is walking in the alleys heading to the address. The residents. They are not interested in what is happening outside their windows. And they have also buried their faces in their phones. And when they reached the house of his friends, the stranger allowed the team to arm themselves with anything they could get their hands on in front of them. The final attack on the house opposite them on the street, and in this stage, the group in the previous times, there was always someone attacking him, and every time the enemies were different, thugs or beggars or police or soldiers or even groups of rats and dogs. That's why the survivors can't prepare early in the way that maybe next time these turn into cats, or a centaur creature throws the decorations. The guest who is from the future talks about how humanity has become stupid, and she is trapped in virtual reality, the industry. They stopped and the supplies ran out and people started dying, but no one agreed to leave this fake paradise. The intelligence, artificially, Saeed was presenting him instead of reality. The one who is not okay is the same one who escaped from the thigh because his mother protected him and hid him in a hiding place underground. He was a child who dreamed that one day he would see the sunrise with her. His mother used to tell him a lot about this. And one night, he came out of the hideout to see the world and found a virtual reality headset, and then a drone spotted him and blew up the hideout where his mother was with a rocket. And he blames himself for his strange passivity. For other survivors, he traveled to the past to prevent the creation of artificial intelligence, which is without a title. Then, a group of the zombie teenagers with mobiles gathered around the house. The group went up to the roofs and are planning how they will cross. From among them, Marco and Janet, with the guns that they brought from school, decided to sacrifice themselves to distract the kids towards them, until the rest. He reaches his goal, the group with fewer members. She continued her way after they lost Scoot so he would be late for them on the road, and suddenly she saw a giant monster made from hundreds of cat bodies, the body of a huge horse. Behind it fell the giant, the strange one, very annoyed. The monster gathered the items they were joking about from a little, and the monster keeps eating the kids who take selfies with him. Then the group knocked on the house and said that they are teachers from a school. There was a theatrical performance in it. The boy's family, they only admitted him as a traveler. Time cannot believe that they are real. The fight. With words I was beaten and the owner of the house planted. The serenity is in the head of silence, and he took its place. Shotgun. Fair exchange of fake princess. She admitted that they were tenants, so they could play the role. But she did not agree to the murder. Just behind the door on the second floor instead of a room. The children were by Susan's brick wall when they saw a robot vacuum entering a secret opening behind the fake wall, and after they broke the wall, they found a secret tunnel. The tunnel leads to the underground hideout and into a pile. Behavior in front of a giant screen, and the little genius sitting and writing AI code. Without sleep or rest, the group is stable. Ingrid. Those who have allergies behind them, and the stranger entered. And Susan for the boy who is clear from the barcode. He is a clone they tried to distract, but without any benefit, he does not respond to them at all, and when the boy shouted at the man and saw time hit him, he fell down. He is unconscious. This violence is active. Dozens of brides as if they came out of a copy. A nightmare for a Toy Story movie. And because they return things to their proper place, the guests are dragged and the child. Again for the adults, there is D and an awakening and some to do the good that people call programming. Now the stranger is looking around the room for an entrance to put in the flash drive that contains the protocols, but there is no suitable place, and Susan. She said that her virtual son volunteered to help. If they bring the flash drive to his hard drive, he will be able to upload the protocols to the AI code. Artificial, but they couldn't get to the hard drive, so artificial intelligence activated the behavior. A behavior that drew around them like tree branches or worse. Like the probes. The time traveler. He tried to cut the behavior with the knife, but it fell from him, and one of the toys. She picked up the knife and stabbed it into his chest, and at that moment Ingrid entered. With her nose bleeding, she took the hard drive and the cable to connect him together, and suddenly the programmer boy. The girl dived into virtual reality to show her the truth. The time traveler hadn't chosen a hash for this task before, because he won't be able to handle her. Ingrid, she turned out to be his mother, and artificial intelligence is trying to convince her not to resist the future and let her son drown in the virtual reality that has the best world. It could just be Ingrid. The hard disk arrived, which has the protocols at the last moment. The magic of the fake world. It disappeared, and she went to her sick son. She went out into the street, and the world was becoming something, and people were freed from technological magnetic hypnosis. It turns out to be a happy ending, but the time traveler is looking at the rising sun. He understood that something is wrong. He pressed the button, and the timeline reset again. Ingrid saw him while he was coming back and apologizing to her. That the girl's suspicion. I understood that everything around her is like an artificial virtual matrix. They took her in the ambulance, and idle people are filming what is happening on the phones. Mark saw a piece snow falling, but it turned out fine. And again, in a cafe, no code, a man enters, wearing the latest trend from the designers of the homeless people of the pipes. He sat next to Ingrid and told her that they must save the world. He threw the flash drive into the tea and said that this time they must act differently, which is that they teach people how to live from other than the locked prison of technology and digital, and in order to do that they will need the girl's blood and a group of rats in order to they create an epidemic and transmit sensitivity from technology to everyone. The matter won't be easy, but it will be fun. And if luck smiles, they will not die. And this is the end of the movie, and we meet in a new summary. Thank you for watching.